and welcome back. Here's an update on how I'm progressing with the house move and getting various jobs done. Slowly but surely. It's taking quite a bit of time. I'm still unpacking boxes as well, but thankfully I'm getting through most of them. So basically in the kitchen, I'll take you through now. I've got most of the kitchen sorted out, as you can see. I put film on the glass of the door, which makes the panes opaque. I put a window blind up, which matches the decor and the floor in the kitchen, which is grey colour. As you can see, I've got a bit of washing up to do, but that will be done later once I've got the jobs out of the way. Also, you'll see here that I've done a light strip along the top of this backboard here, and this is done with an LED 5-volt light strip, which has also been encased in a diffuser strip, as you'll see, and that just hangs down and goes along and plugs into the socket using the transformer plug there, which just gives it a bit of extra light on that worktop at night. Let's turn that off, and it just saves putting the big light back on. Moving through into the lounge. Before we do that, I've mounted the UniFi U6 Pro access point mounting plate on the ceiling. However, I tested it with my cable tester and it came up that there was cables above there somewhere. I know there's not cables directly underneath that, because where we drilled the hole through for the actual Cat 6 cable, there were no cables or pipes above there, but I know there's some in the vicinity for the smoke detector there and also the light fitting, as you'll see there. But to be safe, what I did was mounted the access point mounting plate to the ceiling with no nails, and it seems to have held up there very well, and I'm sure it will definitely easily hold the U6 Pro access point. I have actually tested the cable. As you'll see, I put a RJ45 connector on the end of it, and I did actually test it with my tester, which I'll show you in a moment, and the continuity of the cable was actually okay. So moving through into the lounge, you'll see it's still a bit of a mess in there, but I've got it into a bit of a tidy up process has gone on in there, just so I can actually live in it and feel comfortable in it for the time being. Sofa, coffee tables. I also have curtains up there now on the bay window, and also the television setup, and also Sky TV, which you will see. There's the Sky TV box there, and it's Sky Q if anybody's asking. It's not the Sky streaming service, it is actually Sky Q. And you'll see next to it there's 4 1-meter Cat 6 cables with RJ45 connectors already on them. They're pre-made cables and they're 1-meter ones, as I say. They go through into the socket at the back on the wall, which you'll see here. I've wired up a 4-port socket and labelled them as L1, L2, L3 and L4, going from left to right. This means lounge 1, lounge 2, lounge 3 and lounge 4, so that I know which room the connector is when I wire it into the actual network cabinet. As you'll see, I've temporarily filled the hole in with expanding foam. There also needs to be a top put on the cable trunking there, just to tidy that up. The purple cable that you'll see there actually goes out through the wall and is ready there for the UniFi Protect camera to be mounted, which has yet to be done. Also, the black cable there, which is the twin cable, is the SkyQ cable which goes into the back of the Skybox. So for the 4 connectors there, I will be having the TV, SkyQ box, my media player, my network media player, and also then one port which is spare and which I'll probably use for a voice over IP telephone extension. You'll see that I've now completed the trunking. Unfortunately, it was a bit difficult for me to film whilst actually doing the trunking at the same time and having to keep moving the angle of the camera so that you could see what I was doing. So I decided to just get on and do the trunking and then show you afterwards. Unfortunately, I would have liked to have done it, but it was a bit awkward and inconvenient to do. As you will see, I'm not the best cable trunker in the world, but it is what it is, and because it's behind the TV you don't actually see it that much. You'll see that the cable trunking runs all the way around from the back of the 4-port socket in the lounge, and it runs all the way round the chimney breast at the bottom, all the way along here. You'll see my Virgin Media router, which is a Hub 3, which is being used temporarily for internet until at which point I get the cabinet all set up. Anyway, going back, the cable trunking runs all the way round the corner and into the back of the corner wall there, and here you'll see that I now have the cabinet built. This is the 12U cabinet and it's made by Orion, I believe, or supplied by them anyway. It's grey colour which matches the decor of the room, just to make it a bit more aesthetically pleasing. And the cable trunking, as I said in my first video, which runs through from the bedroom through the wall here, as you'll see there in the corner, and it again goes to behind the cabinet where it will be fed into the cabinet along with the 4 ports from the lounge socket behind the TV, and they'll all be fed into this cabinet into the patch panels, which I have yet to do. I hope to actually do a video on installing the patch panels, so hopefully we can get to that. However, the tools I did use for the cable trunking was a hacksaw to cut the length of the cable trunking to the length I required. I used a Knipex cable stripper, as you'll see here. I also used Knipex wire cutters, as you'll see here. I also used the Klein tools RJ45 Pass-Thru crimp connector tool, and for the wiring I'm using the T568B focus. Yep, it's RJ45 wiring for T568B, which we tend to use in the UK. And then for testing the cables I'm using this basic CSL cable tester, which connects together, as you'll see here. This one goes on the one end of the cable with the RJ45 connector, and this end will go on the other end of the RJ45 with the RJ45 connector on the other end of the cable. And then when you turn this switch on, it flashes and it will go through the green lights 1 through to 8 on there. As you'll see there, there's numbered 1 to 8 and also ground if you're using shielded cables. And provided that each light on either one of those connectors turns green for every number 1 through to 8, then it means your cable is actually okay and there's no breaks in the cable anywhere. So that was what I was using. It's a basic one and it's made by, as I say, CSL. When it comes into focus, you'll see. I'll see if I can put links in the video description where I bought these tools from. Also on the top of the cabinet at the moment you'll see that there's my DS1621 Plus NAS drive, and that's temporarily there at the moment so that I can access my files, and that's temporarily connected into the Virgin Media Hub 3 via a Cat6 cable, which has not been wired into any patch panel at the moment. So basically that's where I'm up to with the video. Also, as you can see, there's various toolbox there. There's a whole box full of things there which I'll be doing videos on in detail. As you'll see, there's a D862 which is a voice over IP phone. There's also the U6 Pro access point there, which I'll be doing a video on mounting and connecting up to the network. There's various tools. There's a Dymo label printer, various fillers. There's also my 2 patch panels there, and as you can see, a big box of cables which I need to sort out, and which most of those will probably go into the shed. So that's the update done for this video, and hope you liked it, and keep watching for further detailed videos. And again, sorry for not being able to show you detailed trunking of the video. You probably didn't want to see it anyway because it's not the best job in the world, but it will do for the time being. So thanks for watching and see you again soon. Bye.